Corley, and I am Breathe Beautiful Yoga. And today I'm here to talk to you about breathing techniques. And the reason I'm wearing my jeans and just regular clothes is because you don't need to have a pair of yoga pants or sweats or anything to do breathing exercises. All you need to do is have clothes that are a little bit loose fitting and that you can feel comfortable in to do some things like expand the belly and just feel comfortable. So we're going to do a little bit of three-part breath, and we're going to use the hands to demonstrate to ourselves how it feels to breathe into the belly. And then we're going to move up to the chest, and so putting the hands on the collarbone area, just showing how it feels to expand the lungs. And then we'll talk a little bit about how the breath will just travel from the nostrils to the front of the body. So we'll go ahead and we'll begin with 2 breaths into the belly. First time, just kind of practicing the expansion. And the second time, really notice where you can send your breath to. If you can feel breath in the hips, if you can feel breath in the low back, maybe in the upper abdomen. So we'll just go ahead and we'll give that a try. So first go ahead and just take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale out the mouth. And then breathe into the belly. Just take a nice deep inhale. Nice long spine, just feeling that expansion in the belly and the hips, the upper abdomen maybe, and then just soften the breath. And just take a moment to come back to the natural breath. It does actually take a moment. Breathing is one of those things where you think, well, that's easy. Everybody who is alive is breathing. But we usually breathe from the top third of our lungs. So feeling breath in other areas of our body to really engage in that expansion and letting the breath move through the body, we can really notice how much more oxygen we can get. And when you have more oxygen, you feel a little bit better, you feel a little bit lighter, your movement is a little easier. So let's go ahead and breathe into the belly once more. This time really noticing, really trying to maybe expand in the ribs and in the backside. So just go ahead, bringing the hands to the belly. Just go ahead, take a nice breath in. Just feeling your inhale, just noticing your ribs. And then softening, feeling the breath, just coming from the nostrils, out over the body, maybe landing in the navel area, and then just softening with the breath, and just noticing how nice that feels. You're just breathing normally now, just taking some time. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to practice breathing into the lungs. The first time we breathe into the lungs, we'll just notice some expansion across the chest, maybe in the pecs, maybe in the upper rib cage. The second time we're really going to notice the whole expansion, maybe even into the shoulder blades, maybe even into the back of the lungs. When someone said to me, breathe into the back of your lungs, I was a little bit mystified, like how can you breathe into the back of your lungs? But when you focus on doing that, you are amazed by the room and the space that you have in the lung area. So our lungs are actually a fairly big organ. So anyway, so go ahead, just breathing into the lungs, taking a nice breath, maybe bringing the hands to the collarbones, breathing in, taking that nice deep expansion into the chest. And then softening, just relaxing, taking a breath here, coming back to your natural breath. And then we'll go ahead and we'll breathe into the whole lungs. So it's actually really exciting. When I'm teaching breath work, I'm always smiling. It's like, it's just an amazing thing to me how you can change your life, literally, with just noticing and working with the breath. So we'll go ahead and just take a nice deep breath, placing the hands maybe in the collarbones, and just noticing as you breathe into the lungs, Breathing in, noticing all that space in the lungs, maybe even feeling the arms expanding. Maybe feeling that breath in the back of the lungs. And then just softening, feeling the breath from the nostrils, traveling over the body to the navel. And just take a breath. Just noticing how you're feeling. Coming back to the regular breath. And it actually does take a moment to come back to the regular breath after you've taken these deeper breaths, because you have expanded and you've held that for a moment. So you've really enhanced the space between the breath. So sitting up nice and tall, we'll go ahead and we'll do three-part breaths. And just noticing from the first to the last breath, maybe how the lungs are expanding. And we'll also take a little bit of time between these so you can come back to the natural breath. So placing the hands maybe on the belly, or one hand on the belly and one hand near the pecs. We'll go ahead and just breathe in. So breathing into the belly, expanding that breath. Breathe then into the lungs, expanding clear up to the top of the lungs. And then soften, letting the breath travel over the body. Just noticing how you're feeling, noticing indifference, how you're feeling, maybe a little taller, maybe a little more expansion in the body. Just coming back to the regular breath. And maybe doing a little bit of exercise with another breath that I know, just to notice how you're feeling with this. If at any time this feels like it's too difficult, that we're holding too long, or that it's just taking too much breath in, go ahead and just take a break. Or just do belly breath or three-part breath with just one time. So just checking in with how you're feeling, noticing the body. We'll go ahead and lift the palm of the hands on our inhale and just let them come down to the thighs on the exhale. So taking a nice inhale up, letting the exhale bring the palms down to the thighs. And with your own breath, inhaling and exhaling, just noticing. Taking time, noticing the air hitting the palms of the hands. Maybe noticing bend in the elbows. Just taking that moment to notice the body. And we'll just do this 2 more times with your own inhales and exhales. And when you're ready, bringing the hands back to the top of the thighs. Just take a moment. And then we'll come back to 2 3-part breaths. So go ahead, placing maybe one hand on the heart or the collarbones, one hand on the belly. Just taking a nice breath in, blowing that out through the mouth. We'll go ahead, we'll expand the belly, just noticing, and then expanding the lungs, maybe even feeling that in the shoulder blades, in the back of the lungs, and then soften the breath over the body through the nostrils, just letting your breath come back. And we'll just do this one more time, just noticing the ease of the movement. And again, no stress, no strain, just a nice, comfortable breath. So bringing the hand to the belly and to the heart. If you would like, you certainly don't have to do this. Just breathing in, expanding the breath in the lungs, maybe expanding the arms, and then just soften as you relax, letting the breath travel over the body. Just noticing how that feels, noticing as you come back to the natural breath, the space between the breath, noticing any sensations you're feeling. And we'll go ahead and we'll close our breathing practice with one stretch. So just ending our practice as we inhale, lifting the energy in our beautiful community of yoga. Bring the palms together, floating the hands to the heart, bringing kindness and joy to the self.